Do you think that the emerging world is really headed for a financial crisis?
Well, I wouldn't say it will be heading to financial crisis, but certainly some of the emerging economies have the issue, both in their financial system as well as their budget. Due to the lower commodity price and in the sense of the currency, of course, related to the Fed fund rate that has been happening last year.
Well, tell me a little bit more about that, because there's plenty of blame that's been going around here, as well as people trying to come up with solutions. But there's blame for the market volatility has been blamed on some of the divergence of central bank policy. And you'd mentioned the Fed. Do you think the Fed was just preemptive?
Well, I think Fed has been waiting for some time before they made the decision last December, but I think now they have to find out what would happen to the U.S. dollar itself, given the competitiveness could be losing, since most of the currencies has been depreciating against U.S. dollar, and of course it won't make U.S. exporters happy, because then they lose competitiveness and people prefer to buy the imported product rather than buying the domestic product.
So what do you think the Fed's next move is going to be?
Well, I think they still come up with probably the hike, but now the possibility is less. I mean, it's not like maybe 100 basis points this year like what many people thought last year, but probably at the max 50 basis points or even less than that, or even no hike this year.
So then do you just expect more volatility for emerging markets?
I wouldn't say it will be volatility. I think now the volatility will be more on the commodity price, especially the oil price, because some emerging market really hit by the low oil price.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about structural reforms, because that was one of the key themes this morning. The OECD was calling on all G20 economies to speed up their pace of structural reforms. Indonesia, when the Jokowi administration came in, there were high hopes that we were going to see quite a bit of reform, and it hasn't really happened at the pace that many outsiders would like. What went wrong, and what more can be done?
Well, I think we have started the structural reform, and I think we are quite bold at the beginning, because we removed the fuel subsidy, and last year we already increase the quality of spending by spending more on infrastructure rather than just subsidizing the fuel. So I think that's the biggest structural reform that we have done in the first year. Now our structural reform is focusing on how to diversify our economy, not so much on the commodity, mining or plantation product, but how to make our economy more competitive through manufacturing, as well as building and accelerating the infrastructure project.